This is the first new video for this project I put together in about 5 years, so I just wanted to say welcome back and let's jump right into it. Today we're going to take a look at some evidence around a possible fragment at Big Noise Creek on the lower Columbia River Highway. And we're also going to take a look at some of the process I used to find these old fragments. At Big Noise Creek, our starting point is going to be just taking a look at the current US30 alignment in the area. Back when the original road was designed, unlike the modern highways, the engineers wanted to add a lot of twists and curves to the route in order to provide a more scenic experience for drivers. Of course, back then, the cars traveled at a much slower pace, so these curves were not seen to be too much of an impediment in quickly getting from one place to the next, most of the time at least. Driving this stretch of the highway and examining the modern map, one of the first things I noticed is that from the known original CRH bridge at Nat Creek to the verified abandoned fragment at Supply Creek, modern US30 runs in a very straight line for a long time. Up and down the Columbia River Highway, along the improved US30 water level routes, this is almost always indicated that there is decommissioned or abandoned highway in the area to be found. Sure enough, when we look at an old map of the original road, we see a number of obvious deviations from the current alignment. The most obvious being the S-curve at Big Noise Creek. The next step is to take a look at the Lidar imagery of the area and to see what turns up. Sure enough, the area south of the modern highway is covered with old grades. From the Lidar and some quick comparisons to the old map, I see two possibilities that really stand out. But this is as far as we can go without getting some boots on the ground. Back in the spring of 2015, I didn't have this area surveyed yet, but I did get out there to drive a lot of these old roads and did visit the southern grade we see in the Lidar image. While it did sort of have similarities to the old highway, there were no signs of old pavement, and really, to be honest, it just didn't feel like the old highway. And when I've had that feeling over the years, usually further research turns up to show that those sections are not part of the old highway. So that turned my focus towards the northern grades, mostly just off the modern highway, which show a curve to the south and back to the north that sort of matches with the original alignment. It's a little broader on the Lidar image, but this could be due to the level of detail on the old map. At this point, there's really nothing left to do but go out there and do some bushwhacking. So this morning we came out to explore the Big Noise Creek fragment, which is one of the last major fragments that was listed as a strong possibility in our research. There was really strong evidence from maps, from Lidar, that we were going to come out here and find a beautiful old stretch of the old highway. But the way this works, sometimes we come out and what looks really good in the imagery turns out to be not much in reality. So after doing some scouting this morning, went down and found definitely an old road grade, an old cut, an old fill, but it's not highway. It's an old logging road, maybe a little shoe fly from some early construction or something. It's too narrow. The trees are too old that are growing on it, and there's no pavement. And in that section, there would be no reason for them to tear up the pavement. So that is a pretty clear indicator. I would say this area is not a complete bust yet, that there is still the potential for some finds out here. There could still be evidence of an old bridge somewhere along the creek bank, but it's a pretty steep ravine and that might be hard to locate. Overall, it's not the big exciting find that we were hoping for today. And that's what you get. We find these locations on the map and we come out and we check it out. And this is why, you know, for me, I've been working on this for almost 7 years. We have a whole team of guys out there scouting old possibilities right now for the last year and a half or so, and it's hit or miss. Sometimes we have spectacular finds. On the upper highway at Lane Canyon recently, someone found remains of an old bridge that no one knew was there. But down here today, we're just not coming up with anything. So we keep looking. Earlier in the day, we stopped at the county line fragment near Westport, where there are very clear signs of the original highway in Lidar, up the hill from modern US30. But climbing up to them, what looked very clear in the imagery was totally overgrown and difficult to navigate in reality. Without the map and Lidar evidence to support what I found on site, I'd be tempted to discount the ledges I climbed up to as original highway. But even these had clearer signs of being remnants of the old highway than anything I found at Big Noise Creek. Moving ahead, I hope to share a lot of these new discoveries with you and to dig deeper into the history surrounding some of the known landmarks around the Columbia River Highway. So please like and share this video, and absolutely subscribe and follow on whichever platform you're viewing this on. So until next time, thank you for your support, and thank you for watching. To help support this work, please consider contributing to the crowdfunding campaign linked to in the description below, covering the expenses of the 7-month website rebuild and continuing web and video work, sharing the history of the old highway with everyone. Thank you for your consideration, and once again, thank you for watching.